This is Susan Bassey, and if you follow this platform, you know that we don't just watch police officers on the street, but we watch them in court, and we also investigate their training and who's conducting that training and how police officers might be influenced before they respond to a call or appear as a witness in court.
Hi,
Hi.
how are you?
Did you want to be in my video?
I don't know, I just saw the video. I thought, okay.
You know what? Are you San Jose PD or sheriff?
This was a Friday afternoon outside the criminal courthouse when I ran into these two police officers, and never before have I had a police officer turn and wave and talk to me after they noticed I was recording them on the street.
I used to be San Jose PD. Now I'm retired. Now I work for Foothill College.
Oh, you work for who?
Foothill College?
Oh, did you go to the training by Ruth Patrick?
What training?
She did a training on DV calls.
Oh, not me. I wasn't there yet. I was still at San Jose PD.
Oh, they're the only ones to do post-training with this woman named Ruth Patrick.
I don't even know. I don't know her.
Oh, so you work for Foothill College. I was just there. I did a little video.
Yeah,
You
I
have
just
the...
started.
2 years ago, we started reporting on a nonprofit by the name of WomenSV and its founder, Ruth Patrick. The nonprofit purported to be helping people who were involved in domestic violence cases, but in fact, we found they were operating as a high-asset divorce case referral service, making divorce attorneys rich. And we also discovered that the founder, Ruth Patrick, had gone around claiming she had trained police officers on how to respond to domestic violence calls. So we started to investigate how that was possible, because Ruth Patrick wasn't a police officer, wasn't a therapist, and wasn't an attorney. She also didn't have certification to train police officers until 2024. And while I was talking to these police officers down at the courthouse, the Foothill Police Department produced the records that we had requested a few weeks back. And those records included invoices, course training, and a series of emails that gave us some indication of how Ruth Patrick got into this police department and began to influence the training of these police officers.
I'm just out here just getting B-real because, there's a big case, the Richard Farley case is today, so that's why all the media is out here. And do you know what case that is?
Richard Farley was Northern California's first convicted mass shooter. In 1988, he went to the ESL Technology headquarters in Sunnyvale, California, and gunned down 7 people, injuring 4 others, including Laura Black, a 36-year-old engineer he had been stalking for over 4 years. This stalking case was poorly handled by ESL's human resources, law enforcement, and the local courts. The media covered the case extensively, and Hollywood later dramatized it in a film which suggested that Harley snapped after being served with a restraining order filed by Laura Black. However, when we went to search the court records for a copy of that restraining order, none could be found. The Public Information Officer, or PIO, from the courts confirmed that no such case existed, raising questions about whether it was fabricated by the media in Hollywood or sealed up by the courts, potentially concealing a significant case during Silicon Valley's formative years. Farley was convicted after a lengthy and highly publicized trial, which occurred long before the internet and social media transformed public discourse. Notably, this crime happened the same year as the formation of the so-called secret judge club that we have previously reported on, a group that influenced police action and media narratives surrounding such cases. And now, hundreds of the victims impacted by this crime are upset because the district attorney is trying to reduce Farley's death sentence to life in prison.
I was just getting out here. And you gave a little wave, and then when you said that you're Foothill, you need to look at my YouTube channel because I just recorded Joe. You know Joe in your department?
Joe Moss?
Joe Moss.
I know Joe.
He did the best job of describing domestic violence calls and how you guys handle them on Foothill College. So what was...
The records we requested from Foothill College were designed to tell us who had taken that training from Ruth Patrick, because Ruth Patrick was known to have a long history of mental health issues, and her divorce files reveal that during her divorce case, she was arrested by the police when she was making false allegations of abuse, and she was also claiming that the police officers were trying to unalive her. And now, The very woman that made those claims is training police officers on how to respond to similar calls.
So are you here for a case today?
Yeah, we're here for a case. We just got a little lunch break.
Are you testifying?
No.
It's
just follow up on a case I'm doing.
So is it a case that arose out of Foothill?
Mm-hmm.
What case is it?
I can't talk about it.
I'm a reporter. I can cover that.
I'm not allowed to do that. You got to talk to our PIO.
Government PIOs, or public information officers, are limited in what they can tell the public, including the media. So we did a records request for all the calls for service related to these types of stalking, domestic violence, and civil harassment charges that later can end up in court, where these police officers might be the witnesses testifying about these cases. So therefore, the training they get to recognize real claims and false claims is incredibly important.
The smallest department.
I know.
And I actually just recorded Joe a couple weeks ago and put it right before Thanksgiving up on my YouTube channel, and everyone loved Joe. They're like, if everybody could be like Joe. So please tell them you saw Susan Bassey working down here.
Absolutely.
So did you go to the Ruth Patrick training that they did on the Foothill College campus?
I didn't. I wasn't even employed here.
When was it?
It was in March. She did a training on responding to domestic violence calls with Chief Acosta.
Typically,
It was a post training. She just got her post training.
I'm trying to remember. Were you here yet, March?
No, he wasn't there.
I don't remember this. So I must not have been here.
Do you remember when in March?
I have the date in my computer. It was she got post certified in February. So I spent a year and a half reporting on this nonprofit that was kind of cheating people.
Okay.
And
When you say cheating people, how do you mean?
they were posing as a domestic violence charity, like they were helping survivors of domestic violence, and instead what they were doing is referring people to high asset divorce case attorneys, and the attorneys were on her board and everything else. And so when she started training police officers, I got all the training and what they're doing, and it's concerning because she also has a 5150 in her history here and in Canada, and she was claiming Palo Alto police or Mountain View police were trying to kill her. So the woman who was claiming that police are trying to kill her and her husband was trying to kill her is now training police officers on a lethality risk assessment. And when we cover DV, we don't just cover the real cases and how it goes through the courts, but we cover false allegations too. So the fact that this woman was claiming police are trying to kill her and now a decade later is training police officers is a concern.
Gotcha. Yeah, to be honest, I don't remember we've had quite a bit of trainings and even post-certified trainings on campus this year with outside agencies as well. I don't remember attending one for DV on our campus.
Because I'm just trying to figure out the influence that she had.
Yeah, and it is this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't recall doing a DV training on our campus this year.
Okay. All right. You know what he did? He saw me. I was just back there filming the cars, and he waved. And you guys watch. My name's Susan Bassey, and watch my little video with
I'll
Joe.
put a link below, and this is the video we did with Joe Moss at Foothill College right before the holiday break.
You're famous around here.
Well, you'll get some more views. I'll check it out.
Yeah, to just watch, because he did a great job of describing to me. Didn't care about being on camera or anything else. That department was great. The chief we need to work with a little bit on screening who's training you guys. But so just be smart, you guys.
All right, well, you have a good day.
I'll find out what that case is too. Bye, you guys.
As we all headed back to the courthouse, I was mindful not just of the influence that Ruth Patrick had had on police officers, but also the influence she had had on the Santa Clara County District Attorney and the county supervisors who had given her $250,000, because that money and influence greatly impacted how the district attorney handles crime victims, including crime victims such as those involved in the Farley mass shooting.
Still causing trouble?
Yeah, what are you up to?
Farley case.
I know. Do you know what department it's in right now? What department, where they are in court?
24.
They're in 24?
That's what I heard.
24. We heard it just got continued.
For anyone who's ever been through the criminal court system or who's ever accurately reported on it, We know that the attorneys that are often court appointed to represent the poor, working for either the public defender's office or the alternate defender's office, might not always give their clients the zealous defense they're entitled to, making the proceedings unfair. In fact, many people might argue that those attorneys often feel like they're pandering to and working for the prosecutors or district attorney. But that's not the case in Richard Farley's situation, because there was documented stalking problems for over 4 years, and there were a number of witnesses at the incident who included Laura Black and police officers and members of the media who saw firsthand what Richard Farley had done. He had a very public jury trial, and the media covered it extensively. And now the district attorney, in violating the crime victims' rights and not allowing them to be heard once again, is trying to get Richard Farley's sentence reduced from the death penalty to life in prison. And some lawyers and crime victims are very upset, mostly about the fact that the district attorney is not following the law.
What I don't understand is that he was given a full, fair jury trial. It had been upheld by the California Supreme Court, and the Attorney General's office has a process that they have published called the Victim's Guide to the Capital Process. They have not followed that process. And yet now we are being re-traumatized, brought from all over the country to do this, to have to sit here and face this all over again, when the only result that could possibly come out of this benefits no one but a mass murderer. The families don't benefit. The state of California does not benefit. Currently, the current citizens of Santa Clara County do not benefit. The only person that benefits is Farley, the mass murderer. And now one has to question, is there another benefit that someone else is also receiving from this? Because what would motivate a district attorney to go against the victims he's intended to support?
You said that as soon as she said unless there's someone that benefited, they cleared the courtroom. Is that correct?
Well, he didn't want to.
Well, no, when she said that Jeff Rosen has a political agenda,
That's when he
cleared the courtroom. And that's a fact.
Public safety should never be political, but the Farley case shows us exactly how it is. Because in this case, the crime victims have James McManus acting for them as a pro bono attorney, meaning he's doing it with no charge to the crime victims, whereas other crime victims are not afforded an attorney to get through the system, and they're often denied the right to be heard. And in the Farley case, the media is coming out in droves, crime victims are being allowed to speak up, and attorneys are pointing out how the district attorney is not following the law, and the media is documenting every single step of what happens in thousands of cases every day when the media isn't watching and no cameras are in those courtrooms.
And so hooray for us. We're going to get another day in court, and it's like Yogi Bear says, it's not over till it's over.
How many more people do you think may be able to speak? You say you're out 22 now.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. We got an email from one of the police officers who had to walk through that building and see all that carnage. He says they have a contact with 300 people. ESL, had over 300 employees that day. They're all victims. And ESL ended up destroying that building because of the terrible things that happened. And so, we found, 20, 30 victims just by our little efforts.
When the most profitable law firms in a county start taking on crime victim cases pro bono to hold the district attorney accountable, you can bet there's a story there that legacy media hasn't quite reached yet. And we're going to continue to report on that and this district attorney who seems to not be following the law where crime victims are concerned.
Remove Jeff Rosen from office. We need to remove him today. He needs to go. What he's doing is an injustice to not only the victims, but the people of Santa Clara County, the state of California, and you people out there should know he is destroying the justice system across the country. It's starting right here.